They been on their ass, bitch, I'm on the rail. I wrap it, I bag it, I pack it for sale. Got feeling on speed out, I hit me to chill. I give it a thrill, I put it on film. Niggas facade, get applaud, that ain't real. Come to my section and flex, we can tell. I got a show and she dipping them nails. I'm flipping my L's, I know they can tell. I did it too major, they hit me for favors. Been him since the cable was cut in the cradle. What's up, only right that I do it. Colossal until I'm a fossil, they want me to fail. Look, we prevail. Telling the point out who said that they run it, bitch, I'm on your tail. Know that they talking, they telling them tales. Just know how to tell, that shit for the sale.
Honestly, I know it's hard to believe, but you have to trust me. It's got maximum taste and zero sugar.
Stop playing games, wooden boy.
No, I'm a real boy.
Pepsi Max. Maximum taste, zero sugar. Try and believe.
What do you see here? Maybe history, or maybe it's the future.
Amarti mi consola. Amami ancora, fallo dolcemente, un anno e mezzo, un'ora.
Tonali plug-in hybrid, a new charge of sportiness.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 10 here in Velocity's Ultimate Masters Team Racing League. My name is, of course, Michael Edwards, going to be taking you through the action as always, and joining alongside me in the country boss, as you can see, it is VJ himself. How are you doing, VJ?
Not too bad, Mike. Really great. Joining you as always, and looking forward for this street track.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, today, round number 10, we do head to the... I mean, it's a mixed bag, this circuit. Some people like it, a lot of people don't like it. But it is the Baku City circuit. We are here in Azerbaijan for what was the former European Grand Prix, but of course now the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And around a circuit like this, VJ, I mean, no margin for error. It is a incredibly grueling track, like just in terms of just the concentration levels you need around a circuit like this.
Yes, and who can't forget that infamous Charles Leclerc incident right in the castle? I mean, you need to be concentrated to the 100% here. Slight error, you're gonna touch the wall. You're gonna clip the front wing, which will cost you downforce. It can it can help you on the straight, but the stewards have banned touching the wing for being fast in the straight. So let's hopefully people will not try to do that.
Yeah, absolutely not. And of course, Azerbaijan, a 6 kilometer circuit in length, 3.7 miles, 20 corners. And of course, the infamous castle section, as which you alluded to earlier, where we saw Charles Leclerc put in that infamous line, "I am an idiot. I am stupid.
Yeah.
I am stupid." And honestly, I mean, there's nothing stupid about putting it in the castle section. I think every single one of us, no matter what your skill level is on the F1 games, you've all put it in the castle section at some point over the course of the previous game cycles, including this game cycle right now. Obviously, trying to find that extra bit of time and really attacking the castle section is where you're going to find that time. But before we go ahead and jump into anything else here, let's have a little look and see what happened with the race results from last week. Of course, it was the Circuit of the Americas last week, and of course, it was ET8's Gustav that took victory ahead of TF10's Baki in second place, Luca Rapazza for XE Sports in P3, with GL's Ethan in P4, Neverlast Racing's Marlon and Knuff in P5 and P6, XE Sports Dank in P7. GT10's Quartz was in P8 with IRT Bumpier in P9 and CPI's Max Power in that final 10th place position. And outside the top 10, obviously we had IRT Sieb, Shazoo, Nick, TF10, Luca Kart, and then of course ET8's Lars, GT10's Felkos, CPI's Mikela, and GL's Ghost King. Now, only retiree last week was, of course, Shazoo's Dara. Of course, WOR did not field a team last week. I believe they had a race ban, if I remember correctly. Sorry, not last week, a fortnight ago. I believe they had a race ban, but they have dropped out in their entirety now. So, WOR will no longer be taking any part in the rest of the season, and as you can see through the teams that we have there, obviously you've got Team Shazoo in the Ferrari, CPI in the Aston Martins, ET8 in the Mercedes, XE Sports in the McLarens, GL in the Red Bulls, GT10 in the Scuderia AlphaTauris, IRT in the Haas, TF10 in the Alpines, and Neverlast Racing in the Williams. And of course, taking that Alfa Romeo seat is TRT, and they're not joining us here tonight. So we only got 18 drivers on the grid, but from next race onwards, TRT will be on the grid.
Yes, I'm really excited to see what they are going to do next race. They are quite a new team, but they have really well-known drivers. Some drivers that already competed with us, with other teams. Obviously, this is the Ultimate Masters Team Racing League, and the grid is stacked. So if they raced here before, it really means that they are not too bad, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it will be interesting to see how they get on. But let's go ahead and let's have a little look at the standings as well, as we have a little look and see who is at the top end of the championship. It is Neverlast Racing, currently on 282 points after 9 rounds. They currently lead the way. ET8 Esports on 237, so a healthy gap between Neverlast Racing and ET8. And then we've got CPI Esports, the only other team to break the 200-point barrier. However, just missing out on the 200-point barrier is GL Esports team, who are on 199 points in 4th place. 195 points for TF10 Esports, and of course 186 for X Esports in 6th place. So a very close battle from CPI down to X Esports in the championship so far. GT10 in 7th on 137. 119 for WOR Esports, who of course won't be taking any further part in the season, so you would expect them to fall down the order definitely at the end of this race, with IRT just 15 points behind them on 104 in ninth place. And of course Team Shazoo, who joined in the championship after round 5, of course replacing OP as it was at the start of the season. Shazoo currently on 68 points, and of course coming into the qualifying tonight, there is a qualifying ban for IRT and Shazoo for a late change in the lineups, I believe, VJ.
Yes, it is. They have changed the lineup really late after deadline, so they need to serve a qualifying ban, and also they will receive 2 penalty points, which will be added to their tally.
Of course, that is not going to help them out whatsoever. But what can help them out, though, is keeping it cool, calm, and collected through the beginnings of the race in question. And of course, going back to our handy dandy, picture screen right here, where we get to see our two lovely faces. Look at us, we are beautiful. But yeah, I think there's no better way but to get out on track right now, because we've got the first group of cars about to begin their first few laps. And coming on board with XE Sports' Andreas, who's about to get his lap underway. So let's go on board with Andreas right now as he's about to get his first flying lap in the session going, as he comes down the long DRS straight down in towards turn number 1, where we're going to see plenty of overtaking action, that is for sure.
Yes, and it will be really interesting to see the drivers in the race also using that ERS, or maybe saving it. We'll get to see their strategy going into the race also there.
Yeah, absolutely. Andreas very smooth for turns 1 and 2. DRS wide open on the run down in towards turn number 3 now. And of course, the 90-degree corners can really catch you out if you are side by side with people. But through turn 3, where is another big overtaking opportunity. You could set yourself up here for turn number 4, the right-hander. And of course, moving on now through turn number 5 into turn number 6, and really want to keep it nice and tight through 5 to really open up turn 6 for you to get a good launch on the run down in towards turn 7. I've seen a few overtakes attempted into turn 7, but obviously it's not the most ideal of overtaking opportunities, but it can be done. Now into turn 8, 9 and 10, the infamous castle section, as we go through 11 and now through turns 12, using all the track possible. There is Andreas now through the left hand king of 13, where we are right in the middle of the city now, through 14, breaking down in towards turn 15, downhill, left-hander, 4th gear, the gear of choice there from Andreas, as we look at that middle sector split, and it is a 15.6 in the middle sector, through turn 16 now. Nothing left to do but put your foot to the floor and try to not lose as much time possible through 18 and 19, and of course keep a nice tight line to really launch yourself now for this turn 20 king. And then, of course, the long DRS straight down what I like to call the M4 motorway right here.
Yeah, and he does at 140.2. TF10 driver then in first position, Dani, which did a 1.39 flat as a banker, which is a really good time. I was anticipating that our drivers were going to do low 39s to high 38s, but having placed a banker of 39.0, it's already really great from the TF10 driver.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're on board with Max Power going up into P9, a 39.9 there for Max Power into P9. All the 9s coming out for Max Power there for the CPI team. As we got Fraser still in the pits, GL Gill, who's out there on a lap right now through the castle section, he goes third gear on the exit, needs to get a good run out of turn 12, and I think he's done a decent job there. One thing I will say, obviously you're expecting lap times to be in the high 38s thereabouts. Of course, this circuit is one of those tracks where you really need to get yourself dialed into it. Like, you can't just turn up and just be on it immediately. So I think we will see a lot of improved times over the course of the session as everyone dials into the circuit itself.
Yeah, it's true. And also, we don't have to forget that slipstreams are allowed. So maybe if they have one, their time can really improve, you know?
Absolutely, and of course that slipstream down the start finish straight could be absolutely potent for any team that wants to take advantage of that. And I think potentially, I mean, TF10 might have taken advantage of that. Alex Marciano in P6 as well. Now, obviously, you've got experience racing Alex Marciano. I've got experience commentating over him. A very good driver, definitely improved over the course of this game massively. What are you expecting from the TF10 driver, currently in P6?
Yeah, Alex is a very good driver. What I have noticed from him that when he drives the team events, he steps it up even a notch, you know? He's always up there. He's always fighting for top threes, and in this strong field, it is really impressive.
Absolutely, and another impressive driver, the driver I'm currently on board with, Matteo for ET8. And the improvements that this man has made over the course of this game as well has been absolutely incredible. I've got to see him take several race wins, not only in other different events and everything. Obviously, I won't say the events or anything, but yeah, Matteo, definitely another driver that has definitely stepped it up on this game and does step it up in terms of the team events as well.
Yes, he's another one that he's always up there. He's one of our previous race winners. In fact, in the top 4, we have 3 race winners. Danny is making his VUM debut tonight, which he's currently on provisional pole. But Shazoo, Ryan, and also Matteo have all won a race this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Shazoo Volakongan, Neverlast Racing's Ryan, and of course ET8's Matteo, currently up there in the top 4, all former race winners, as VJ has mentioned. Just in right now for Neverlast Racing in P5, and of course we've got TF10's Alex Marciano in P6. So right now, good qualifying session so far if you're a TF10 fan or a Neverlast Racing fan.
Yes, obviously the Neverlast Racing lineup is really great tonight. If they manage to finish in the top 5 with both of their cars, surely they are going to extend their gap even more, and that is what they are doing in the last races. They are really consistent up there. ET8 have won 2 races back to back, but their second driver wasn't or didn't score very good points. On the contrary, NLR have. So to win the championships, you have to be consistent with the 2 drivers up there.
Yeah, absolutely. On board with Matteo now, coming through turn number 1, using quite a bit of the exit curve there, but now in towards turn number 2. And it can be so easy just to snatch that outside wall, but also so easy just to light up the rear tyres on traction coming out of that corner. But Matteo gets good traction, DRS wide open now on the run down in towards turn number 3, getting a little bit of a long range tow from the TF10 driver up ahead. I believe that's a TF10 driver in the Alpine, coming through turn number 4 now. Really smooth from Matteo. Let's have a look at the sector split, see if he's up on his time. And yes, he is by 300ths of a second, coming through 5 and 6 now, looking to get a good launch out of 6, and it's a decent one there. Matteo might be looking for a little bit better on his final run, but coming through turn number 7 now, taking an appropriate amount of the curve through turn number 7 there, and now through the castle section, really getting close to those walls through the castle section, and that is how you gain time through there. You really need to attack the castle section and really risk your car to gain the most time out of there. So it's high risk, high reward. Now breaking down in towards turn number 15 and third gear there for Matteo. Middle sector split coming up right now. What is it saying? And doesn't look like he's up on his time. We've not got a delta whatsoever, so he might be absolutely level, but he might get a tow.
It's his teammate.
That is not ideal. If you are ET8, that is poorly timed. And that is not ideal from Azim and Matteo right there, but I think Matteo might still marginally improve just on the little toe that he did have, but Fraser there popping up.
He did improve.
Yeah, he did improve. Fraser did pop up into P4 just a moment ago as well for CPI. Matteo did improve going up into P3, 39.2, but of course that little bit of I mean the teamwork wasn't on point there for ET8.
Yeah, he could have improved even more. I think with a ideal tow, he would have gotten professional pole.
Absolutely, and of course there's a long run down in towards turn number 1 from the final proper corner at turn 16. It's nothing to do but put your foot to the floor, but that wasn't ideally timed from Azim and Matteo, so they'll be looking to improve on that come the end of the qualifying session, that is for sure. We got around 6 minutes remaining in qualifying. Right now it is Danny for TF10 who is out on top. Fraser who is on an invalid lap right now, as we got Justin I think well off his time coming through the middle sector now, as we'll just have, he's 4 seconds off. Gil for GL currently over a 10th up, nearly 2 tenths up coming into turn 15 now. Let's see if he's able to gain more time in this middle sector. Coming to the middle sector split right now, and it's going to be 3, nearly 4 tenths up. And let's see, because the GL team are going to work the slipstream effect here. And this, I think, is slightly better time from GL as compared to ETA earlier.
Yes, let's see his improvement. He was improving by at least 4 tenths in the last sector. Let's see the improvement now, 7 tenths. So basically, he improved by 3 tenths just alone because of the slipstream. Because last sector is basically all the straight.
Yeah, absolutely, and that shows the value of good slipstream effect down in towards turn number 1. Alex Marciano obviously on the in-lap right now, as will be Jesla. Max Power right now also, I believe, on the in-lap. Andreas will also be on the in-lap. We got Thiago for GL, of course, just gave the slipstream to his teammate. Now on the lap himself, and he is around about a 10th up on his sector 1 time, coming into the middle sector now.
Yep, he's coming up from that famous castle section. Let's see how does he take it. Ooh, so close to the wall. Very good for him.
That wasn't shaving, that was full on trimming right there. That's how close he got to that wall. But here he comes now through turns 13 and 14 to the breakdown of turn number 15 now. Needs to throw the car in. I did notice as well through turn 7. Didn't get the most ideal line, so he might not be up on his time here. But in fact, he is. He's 7 tenths. He's 7.5 tenths up. Okay, maybe I know absolutely nothing. But ladies and gentlemen, we are on board with Thiago now, as he is 7.5 tenths up on his lap time. Getting so close to the wall on the exit of 19, now through 20, and DRS will be wide open all the way to the line. Yellow flags are out, and that is, of course, drivers on a cool down lap and making sure that they are not getting in the way. But Thiago up into the top 10. A 139.7.
Yeah, he lost a couple of tenths on the straights, maybe because the previous lap he had a slipstream and now he didn't. So again, slipstream will cost you 3 tenths.
Absolutely. Now, in terms of driving this circuit, I mean, we both got experience as a driver, and in terms of competing in some team events as well in the past. And I'm not gonna lie, Baku is one of those circuits that I actually enjoy driving, because it was always so chaotic, and when you're incredibly slow like myself, you can definitely gain a lot of positions by people crashing out.
Yes, that's true. I used to love it when I used to run the line assist. Basically, if you are confident in the straight track, you can fully push on, and you can gain so much time compared to the others, because others will be a little bit afraid, you know. Confidence is key here, so if you have that, you will do great. But everybody here is great, so it will be a close one.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're on board with Azim here, who should be the first man proper to set his final laps here, coming across the start-finish line to begin his final runs in towards turn number 1. We've got a minute and a half left on the clock, so it looks like everyone out on track should be all good to get their final runs in. And now this is where you've got to risk it all. Risk it for the chocolate biscuit, as they do say, as we are on the DRS straight now down in towards turn number 3. And a potent overtaking opportunity, turn number 3, and we should be seeing plenty of overtakes here through this particular corner. Now through turn number 4, and it's an overtaking opportunity, but only if you get a good run out of turn number 3.
Yeah.
Now through 5 and 6 goes Azim. Good little bit of line work right there from the ETA driver coming through turn number 7. Now taking an appropriate amount of the inside curve through turn number 7. Now into the castle. Very, very cautious in my opinion, but sometimes that can work for the castle. You're making sure you go through the cautious and quick on the exit can sometimes work out to your advantage. But now Azim coming towards the break-in of turn number 15. Let's see what the middle sector split is saying. He was marginally up in sector 1. Let's see if he's gained more time in sector 2 as we come down. And yes, he's almost 4 attempts up purple in sector 2. Nothing to do now but put your foot to the floor. And there will definitely be some changes going on right now in terms of the positioning, as we got less than 10 seconds to go in the qualifying session, as Azim will cross the line. And this should be an improvement for the ETA driver, but where will they put him in the end? It's going to put him P8.
P8. Yeah, not bad P8, but obviously all the drivers behind him are going to try to improve their last run.
Yep, as we got Vola Kongan here, about a 10th, almost 2 attempts up on his lap time. Of course, Vola Kongan, a driver that is in the running to potentially try and battle for pole position. Of course, his teammate not able to give him a slipstream due to the fact that Shazoo have a qualifying ban. Ryan's not improving; he's invalidated on his lap. So let's go on board with the next man. It's going to be an Alpha Tauri, and I believe that is Felkos.
Felkos.
I mean, apparently, he says he's on an outlap, and that is not ideal for him. We're going board with Justin here. Justin over a 10th up in the middle sector. Coming to the line now. The Neverlast Racing driver jumps up into P9. Jesla, he's marginally down on his. As Danny has improved. It's a 38.9. And you know what? I'm going to go on board with the likes of Matteo, because Matteo is 2 attempts up in the first sector. Let's see what it is in the middle sector. 4 attempts up in the middle sector. Ladies and gentlemen, this could be a provisional pole position lap time here from Matteo. Remember, he did have a little bit of slipstream from his teammate on the previous run, so he might lose a little bit of time here, but time will tell as we see the CPI team working together up ahead. They're using some slipstream effect as well as Fraser. Matteo will be the next to cross the line, and it's going to be Matteo P2 in the end. Lost a lot of time due to the non-slipstream that he had, and look at that gap at the top. Danny by 8 thousandths of a second. Let me repeat that. 8 thousandths of a second pips Matteo in the end.
Practically nothing. So it's really, really close between those two. Very, very good times to having to touch those 38s. So, and all the others are also close with each other. Within a 10, there are like five drivers. So it's gonna be a good one.
Absolutely, it will be, as Velkos, I mean, he says he's still on the outlap. I think we're dealing with a bit of a... But hopefully Velkos is in control of his car and able to dive into the pit. Apologies to everyone on the stream right now. We are experiencing some latency issues and some lag issues. We are dropping frames as well, which is not ideal. And yeah, there we go. Falcos has left the session, and hopefully everything is back and good right now. I do apologize, guys. We did have an issue there with the internet there slowly dipping on us for a moment, but it is Danny for TF10 who takes pole position 8 thousandths of a second ahead of ET8's Matteo. Nevertheless Racing's Ryan in P3 with GL's Gill in P4. Volakongan for Team Shazoo in 5th, for CPI Fraser in 6th. TF10's Alex Marciano in 7th place, with ET8's Azim in P8. And then, of course, we've got CPI's Max Power in 9th place. And, of course, Neverlast Racing's Justin rounding out the top 10. Only just over less than 6 tenths of a second separating the top 10. Incredibly close, say. Jesla for XE Sports in 11th, with Thiago in 12th place. Andreas in 13th. Vita in 14th. Sieb in 15th. And then, of course, our 2 drivers that did not set a qualifying lap. Of course, Dara and Kenny serving a qualifying ban. And, of course, Felkos for GT10 having major connection issues, and I can relate right now because my internet did drop for a moment.
Yeah, we're going to have to do another lobby because of the GT10 disconnection. There was some desync into the lobby, I have been told, so better to not take any risks and we do another lobby.
Okay, so another lobby will be made in due course. So make sure you guys stick with us. Let us know your predictions in the chat right now. Who do you think is going to be taking victory here tonight? Will it be Danny? Will Danny be able to convert the qualifying pace into a race winning strategy? Can Matteo get that victory? Will we see Volakonga for Team Shazoo take a victory here? I mean, guys, there's so many names that could be taking a incredible result here, and time will tell if they're going to be able to get that all sorted. What we will do, obviously, while we have a short intermission, what I will do is I will bring you to a intermission screen for just a moment, and we will be back once we got the new lobby set up. So, guys, thank you for being patient with us, and we will be back in just a moment.
They been on their ass, bitch, I'm on the rail. I wrap it, I bag it, I pack it for sale. Got feeling on speed out, hit me to chill. I give it a thrill, I put it on film. Niggas facade, get applaud, that ain't real. Come to my section and flex, we can tell. I got a show where she dipping them nails. I'm flipping my L's, I know they can tell. I did it too major, they hit me for favors. Been him since the cable was cut in the cradle. What's up, only right that I do it. Colossal until I'm a boss, so they want me to fail. Look, we prevail. Tell them to point out who said that they run it. Bitch, I'm on your tail. Know that they talking, they telling them tales. Just know how to tell, that shit for the sale. Yeah.
Honestly, I know it's hard to believe, but you have to trust me. It's got maximum taste and zero sugar.
Stop playing games, wooden boy.
No, I'm a real boy.
Pepsi Max. Maximum taste, zero sugar. Try and believe.
What do you see here? Maybe history, or maybe it's the future.
Amarti mi consola. Amami ancora. Fallo dolcemente. Un anno, un mese, un'ora.
Tonali plug-in hybrid, a new charge of sportiness.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. A brand new lobby has been made. Unfortunately, GT10, unfortunate for Falcos, but unable to get his connection going. We are loading into the lobby right now, so we will transfer over to the track in just a moment's time. Quick reminder, guys, my name is, of course, Michael Edwards, followed by Jake Summit, obviously VJ, in the comments box, taking you through the action around the fantastic Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Quick reminder to all the drivers out there, make sure you do remember your setups. Honestly, a default setup around Baku is not the one. It is not the one whatsoever. So make sure you remember your setups, of course. So quick little turnaround on the old lobby right there. So big round of applause for VJ getting that done as quickly as possible. And guys, I mean, I'm looking in the chat. I haven't seen any predictions yet, but VJ, I'm going to come to you for a prediction. Who are your top three?
So my top three, I think I will go with the debutant today.
Ooh,
Danny.
You're gonna go with Danny.
I'm gonna spice it up. So we will probably have a new race winner. Let's say that. I think he will be followed by Volokongen. He's always up there, and Matteo.
Interesting. I've gone for the same top three, but in a different order. I think Matteo will take the win, followed by Volokongan, and then, of course, Danny in P3. And the only reason I say that is because of how powerful the DRS and Slipstream is early on, and I just don't think Danny's going to be able to drop those two out of DRS range. So we could see a bit of a cat and mouse game of DRS switching between the three of them throughout the entirety of the race. And of course, Volokongan coming from a little bit further back. We know he's a very quick driver, and definitely got the capabilities of getting himself in the mix come the end of the session. So, guys, we can confirm as well that it is going to be a dry race. It's just going to be very cloudy and overcast, which, I don't know, it might help some of the drivers see their braking points a little bit better in this race.
Yeah, I think basically on all tracks, I think the best weather is always cloudy because the sun and the shadows won't bother you too much. But yeah, we have same settings as what we supposed to have in the race. So the race was going to be cloudy. So before the lobby was reset. So for this race, it's going to be cloudy as well.
Absolutely, and we wait for the drivers now to get
Some of-
their setups underway, and we are now going to head over to the action because we're at those 5 red lights to get us underway here in Baku, and lights are out, and we are underway, and it looks like a good start there in the first phase for Danny, but second phase goes to Matteo as he's down the inside in towards turn number 1 here. Side-by-side action between Ryan and Gil in behind as well, as they go 2 by 2 through turn 1, and now everyone's single file as, oh my god, was that Alex Marciano looking for moves down the inside of turn 2? It was Alex Marciano, but ladies and gentlemen, we make it through the first 2 corners, no major casualties so far.
Yeah, I mean, 90-degree corners are a little bit tricky to take them with when you have other cars close by.
Oh, it's only Andreas here trying a audacious lunge in towards turn number 4, and that did not work on max power as we got Thiago and Jesla side by side. Obviously, see, squeezed into the wall there for IRT, and Vita able to take advantage of that, get himself up the order into P13. Definitely a little bit chaotic towards the back. We've seen a split already from Justin to max power, which is not ideal for the CPI man, as he would have been hoping that he could have stuck in this train a little longer. He's going to have to use a bit of battery now to close that gap back up and get back within that DRS range. But everyone now seems to be somewhat calming down. I think there's definitely a small bit of wing damage on several of the cars out there, and we could be seeing some very early pit stops. Remember, 26 laps here around the Baku City Circuit, and of course 26 opportunities for the castle section to claim its victim, so concentration needs to be at an all-time high.
Yeah, 1.3 gap from max power to Justin, and he needs to get that down before the start of the DRS. Hopefully he does. So it's always nicer to have all the group compact together, so we can see more overtakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of overtake, we just saw down the start finish straight. Matteo overtaking for the race lead against Danny Barr, and Danny's going to try and come back at Matteo here, potentially into turn number 3. He's going to think better of it, not try anything risky on the opening laps. Volkonga was outside that 1 second momentarily, but now back within it. And you can see he's used a bit of ERS battery to get back within that 1 second, but that was a little bit too deep through turn number 4, and now he's back outside that 1 second again.
Yes. Also, when you're following a car and you have a gap behind you, the cars in front can slow you a bit down. So if you are following with, let's say, a gap of 1.2 seconds, you can easily get into the 1 second instantly. So I think that's what happened to Volokangan also.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, on a circuit like this, it's very easy just to get too focused on the car in front of you, miss your braking point, and then end up chipping a bit of front wing off. So, I mean, realistically, you don't really want to be behind someone, because it can be a little bit off-putting. As we see Danny now using a little bit of dab of ERS to potentially try and come back at Matteo for the race lead here. Into the slipstream is the TF10 driver, using a bit more of that battery, and will cruise past Matteo down the start finish straight. And looking a little bit further back, have we got anyone else close to making moves here? I think Justin's probably the next closest to making an overtake. Matteo getting very close to the back of Danny through turn number 1, under braking. And this is what I mean, there's going to be a little bit of a slipstream effect back and forth between these two with the DRS.
Yes. Right now they have similar ERS storage, so you can say that it's a really even fight right now.
Yeah, and heartbreak for Gil was outside that DRS range down in towards turn number 3, but back within it again, as we see Volokongan again going a little bit deep through turn number 4. Maybe that's just his natural racing line through there. To me, you scrub off so much time by running deep into turn number 4. It's not particularly ideal, but obviously I would not argue with Volokongan's lines, much better than myself. So I will absolutely concede to the better driver on this one. But yeah, Volokongan closing back up in the middle sector, and obviously in terms of the train, obviously the closest man to an overtake is Azim on Alex Marciano here. Alex Marciano though getting good traction out of turn number 12, and down in towards turn 15. Now the break in, and Azim losing a bit of time there. CPI Max Power unable to close in that gap, and obviously DRS is now activated, and we'll see that gap continue to increase now over the course of this race.
He should be in trouble now from the car behind of Andreas. Let's see if Andreas can overtake Max.
Sorry, Azim on Max. Sorry, on Alex Marciano here, and a little bit of contact between the pair of them. The battle for P7 as Azim sets the new fastest lap, and he's not going to try and outbrake Alex to go around the outside of turn number 1. Smart move right there. Not really a corner. Ideally, where you want to be on the outside, because it's so easy to go into the wall, but down the inside goes Azim, and a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. Alex Marciano making a small bit of contact with the wall there. Hopefully no front wing damage for him, as Jesla does get through on Max Power there. So Jesla up in the P10, Max Power down to P11, as you would expect with that DRS. But look how much time has been lost just on that DRS straight. That's a second loss there for Jesla and Max Power in total.
I think there has been some contact with. I saw some contact from Max Power and Andreas. Andreas is dead last right now, so he was battling for P10. I think he must have spawned somewhere.
Well, not ideal for X Esports with Andreas down there at the back of the field. 17th place. Of course, one driver that wasn't able to get into the lobby in the end was, of course, Falcos, who is, of course, a part of the GT10 esports team, and it's unfortunate, but I mean, this is why it's always more ideal if you are going to race competitively to make sure that you do speed tests and everything beforehand, and also make sure that you've wired your connection up, because wiring up the connection early on is so crucial to your connection in the lobbies, I think.
Yes, it's a must nowadays. Wi-Fi is not that fast. It will not benefit you to be on Wi-Fi. So for racing, I would say it's better to have the connection wired.
Azim is going to look out for another move down the inside in towards turn number 2. A little bit of a lock up there, and Fraser just about stays out of the wall. But Azim making moves here, getting up the order, up in the P6 now goes the ETA driver, and ETA right now are on a charge.
Yes, they need to be. They need to try to finish in front of NLR today.
Right now they are in position to finish in front of NLR. Obviously Ryan's right behind Matteo, and Azim has Fraser and Alex Marciano, who's also managed to get through on Fraser for P7 ahead of Justin. And let's not forget TF10. Of course, TF10 are also in that championship fight as well, and you know, they could get some big points and really close the gap on ET8, and of course Neverlast Racing as well. Same with GL also, and of course CPI, but CPI under pressure as Fraser loses out to Justin there for P8, but Justin outside that 1 second rule, that 1 second window, and doesn't look like he's going to be able to get DRS unless he gets a fantastic run out of turn 16 here, which let's go on board and see if he does. And he's actually lost a little bit of time, so he's got to use some of that battery, and the battery is being deployed, it is being used, and he is just back within that 1 second window. So good bit of battery usage here for Justin to get himself back within that 1 second window.
Yeah, he should have his DRS.
Change for the race lead as Ryan gets the overtake down on Matteo down the inside of Danny in towards turn number 1. Backs out of it though, and Matteo, I think, not wanting to fight that, but DRS really bunching these guys at the front all together.
Yes, we're seeing some really nice racing between these guys. Hopefully it stays like this.
Yeah, absolutely, as Danny leads away from Ryan. Matteo in P3, as we got Gil, Volakongan and Azim in this train as well. 1 second back to Alex Marciano in P7, and Alex is going to be struggling to get close that back in, because he's got absolutely no battery to his name whatsoever at this moment. So it's all about the lines that he's taken, and he is taking some very nice lines right now in this middle sector to try and bring that gap back below 1 second. And of course, with everyone bunching up and following each other, it does slightly off-put the drivers. So I mean, Alex does have a good opportunity to stay within that 1 second. Fraser, though, just outside, and big snap at the rear there for CPI Fraser. He's currently in P9. He's safe right now from Jesler in P10, 1.3 the gap, but he's 1.5 seconds off the back of Justin here.
Yeah, but at least he has 40% of battery to use, which can help him get back into the DRS train. Let's see if he manages to do that. Right now gap is 1.5, it's still 1.5. I don't think that he will manage before the detection point.
Well, here comes Ryan for Neverlast Racing for the race lead here. And with DRS, there's absolutely no contest. And you've seen the closing speed on Matteo as well in the background. As in behind, you saw Volakongan having a little peek on Gil. In fact, he does go for the move. Volakongan actually able to go for it there. And I don't know if that was a mistake from GL Gil or not, but it looked like Volakongan had a little peek but backed out of it. And all of a sudden now Volakongan up in the P4. And hey, I mean, both of our top 3 predictions right now are in the top 4.
Yes, and they're up there. But there is a cheeky NLR Ryan in front, so we didn't predict him to be in the top 3. Maybe he can show us what he has.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Volakongan had to make his way through several drivers to get into this battle for the race lead now. He's had to use a bit of battery. Danny also has had to use some battery in TF10's Alpines. And right now, Matteo's looking the best on the ERS. He's on 100% now. Not ideal to be on 100% because it's just wasted deployment at that point. So probably expecting to see Matteo just use a little dab here and there. Ryan right now currently on around about 90% ERS, so he is using just a little dab here and there, not really pushing it too much. So right now, I mean, Matteo right now is in cool, calm, collective mode. Ryan right now, see, he's not pushing it on his ERS because he knows the long game. Danny has used quite a bit of ERS early on, and it's not paid out for him. He did almost try to break Matteo out of DRS range, and that unfortunately did not work with the DRS coming into deployment. But now Danny is going to be able to get this move done on Ryan for the race lead once again. And you see Matteo closing in behind this. Matteo going to have a little look down the inside. Oh, he's had a little bit of a half look as Matteo. Closing speed was so dramatic there for the ETA driver that he almost was forced into making that move. But fortunately for him, he was able to back over it. Azim all over the back of Gil here for a P5. Down the second DRS straight down in towards turn number 3. And I don't think he's going to be close enough as Ryan all over the back of Danny again into turn number 3. And yeah, Azim is going to stay hold steady there as Jesler gets back through on max power. CPI against X Esports here for the battle for P9. Fraser, I think, must have damage because he's dropped like a stone in water here.
Yes, Fraser on the last lap he was P9, but the gap was like 3 seconds or 4 seconds to be to P8. So I think he must have damage, but his wing looks intact.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, it doesn't look that it has any damage, but maybe or there is some slight damage that we cannot see right now, or maybe he's just not feeling it today.
Well, I mean, the thing is, obviously, the game likes to lie to us as well. It likes to say that the wing's intact even though it's not. So, I mean, visually it doesn't look like we would do any damage to us, but there's definitely something wrong with that Aston Martin for Fraser right now. As we saw Alex Marciano moments ago just getting a little bit of a snap coming out of the castle section, we got Matteo now deciding to use a little bit of battery, closing in on Ryan. This is the battle for P2. He's got the overspeed. The DRS is coming into play here. It's going to be a drag race down into turn number 1, and it looks like Ryan's going to use a bit of ERS to stay ahead of the ET8 man. And this is kind of smart from Matteo. He's making these guys use the ERS, and Matteo right now is sitting in a very healthy position for ET8.
Yeah, he obviously has the more battery than them, but if he manages to do that, they will have even lower than him. So he's playing a tactical game right now that I think he is succeeding in.
Yeah, as Max Power closes in on Jesler for P9, but it's not going to go for the move. Fraser, I'm actually going to stay on board with Fraser just for a moment. Just I want to see if there's any like apparent understeer here from the CPI man as we come through turns number 5 and 6. It doesn't appear to be any major understeer, so maybe just small mistakes creeping in for Fraser as he is definitely struggling out there and falling down the order quite dramatically. Vida gets through on Sieve there for P15 at the tail end of the order. As you got Andreas now on the back, so Andreas now finally able to get some cars to overtake, and I think that's Sieve in the wall on the exit of turn number 7. As there's a Haas that has gone straight on, so hopefully no contact between himself and Andreas here. As we're back on board with the action at the front of the field, as Ryan should have the opportunity to get closer, maybe even overtake Danny here in towards turn number 1, if he decides to use a bit of battery, which I don't think he will at this point. Of course, a lot of race engineers will be watching the stream and keeping an eye on this ERS usage, so I would imagine that Ryan and Danny have been told you're being played. But Ryan down the inside in towards turn number 1, and he's not going to be able to pull it off. But look at Matteo now on the outside, and he'll have the outside for turn number 2. He's going to back out of it, try to get a better run out of turn number 2, and this could be a good overtaking opportunity for Matteo if he does use a bit of that battery. He's not going to use any though, and yeah, I mean, Danny and Ryan holding strong in first and second right now, but you can see Matteo's game plan here. Put the pressure on, make him use their ERS, and Volakongan's in behind as well. At what point do you think Volakongan's going to think, okay, you're annoying me now, get out of my way?
I mean, I would think that the guys will not risk anything till the end of the race, but as the pit window will surely come at a point, they will try to make some moves before they pit, so that they can extract everything from this current tire. We are on lap 10 right now, so I think pit window will open in between 2 to 4 laps.
Yeah,
we will see some drivers pitting for an undercut between lap 12 or 13, and maybe overcut on lap 15.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be under a set of mediums, guys, for sure. Speaking of a set of mediums, Sieb has been forced to come into the pits. Obviously, with that damage, he did go straight on the turn number 7. So we can only imagine that there was severe wing damage for Sieb, but he's been forced onto the mediums a lot sooner than he would have wanted. As here goes Ryan again for the race lead, just with DRS and the overspeed up into P1. It goes to Neverlast Racing Driver, and still, I mean, you look at this as well. I mean, Ryan's starting to save up battery now. He's at 80%, and obviously right now, obviously Matteo's sitting pretty. He's almost on 100 ERS. Volakongan's saving up his ERS as well. He's almost at 70 in this race. Danny though is at 50%. So I mean, Danny's had to use the most ERS to try and get these, try and hold on to his position, but it's going to hinder him long term, because right now he has been absolutely surrounded by people with a lot more battery to deploy than himself.
Yeah, for the other guys, it's been a waiting game. For Danny, he's using a bit more to be more competitive. But thanks to him also that we are seeing some overtakes also, because maybe the others are trying to save as much as they can, but he just wants to get lead back. He wants to control, which I don't blame him, because being second or third and going into the castle section, if the guy in front of you makes a mistake, it could be raced over for you as well. Yeah, before the car itself gets ghosted, you know?
Absolutely, and that's the risk that the Baku City Circuit does offer for all these drivers. Of course, one mistake for a car in front of you could mean your race over as well. Hopefully we do not see that. Obviously lap 11, about to go on to lap number 12 of 26. These guys are going to begin to think about their pit stop strategies here. Now in this train we have 2 Neverlast Racing drivers, 2 TF10 drivers and 2 ETA drivers. Right now Volakongan and Gil do not really have to worry about double stacking with their teammates or losing out with an overcut or an undercut here. They could follow the race leaders in or potentially go for an undercut themselves, and they could end up in a pretty nice position. Alex Marciano, though, now outside of a second on Justin there for P7 and P8. I mean, right now, if you are ET8, Neverlast Racing, or TF10, and you're looking at this in terms of the pit stop strategy, would you put, what's called, like, let's say, if you're ET8 or NLR or TF10, would you pit Alex, Justin, and Azim maybe a lap earlier just to make sure that they get the undercut to get themselves up there? Or would you pit the top three first?
It's a tricky one, but I think it's better to undercut with the driver that is sitting behind. So maybe he can gain some 2-3 positions. Also, we have to see the difference between new tires without DRS and used tires with DRS. Will the undercut work or not?
Well, time will tell at the end of lap 12 here, lap 12 of 26. It is Neverlast Racing's Ryan leading the way ahead of TF10's Danny Parr in second place, ETA's Matteo in P3, Shazum's Volokongan in P4, GL Esports' Gil in P5, Azim in P6 for ETA, and of course Neverlast Racing's Justin in P7. As there's been a change at the front again, Danny getting through with DRS on Ryan, so Danny now up into the race lead. Max Power getting through on Jesler as well with the help of DRS, as Dara for Shazoo is going to get through on IRT. Kenny, of course, Dara and Kenny served qualifying bands for their respective team shirts tonight, so they're making a drive from the back of the field. It's going to be interesting to see just how far up the order they can get, as Fraser, I mean, Fraser's 3 seconds off the back of Jesler and Max Power now. There's definitely something wrong with Fraser's car. That is 100% for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we all know that Fraser is a very good driver. He's always also up there, so it must be that he has some kind of damage, and he's right now hoping for a safety car or something, so that he doesn't lose too much time in pitting. But he's losing a lot, eh? He's losing a lot.
I think if Fraser's hoping for anything, I wouldn't think he'd be hoping for like a full course safety car. I think he might be hoping for more of a well-timed virtual safety car, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, because then the leaders would have already passed the pit lane at that point. He can dive into the pits and, you know, potentially get a instead of losing out, what was it, 25 to 27 second, I think the pit lane loss is around here. Someone correct me in the chat if I am wrong, but I think that is what it is. But yeah, instead of him losing that, he's going to have a much reduced pit stop strategy, as Gil getting close to the back of Volokongan, but not going to be close enough. Meanwhile, Ryan looks like he's into the pits. He is the one calling the shots here. Ryan into the pits here at the end of lap 13.
Let's see if somebody else will follow him, but
Azim and
yeah.
Alex. So
and Alex. So
as I mentioned earlier, I mean, in terms of the the pit stop priorities, Azim and Alex being the two cars behind for TF10 and ET8. Both of them diving into the pits again, nice undercut to get themselves up the order a bit. And then you got Ryan for Neverlast Racing, the lead NLR car, going to be looking to try and get himself a little bit further ahead of the likes of Danny and Matteo with a cheeky little undercut here. Now, it's going to be interesting. Now, see, Matteo now will have DRS on Danny, but I believe both of them will probably be into the pits at the end of this lap. Will Matteo risk the overtake before the pit lane entry? As you're seeing Danny there sliding through turn number 7, so I think that indicates that the hards are potentially just losing a bit of grip here. Lap 14 of 26.
yes, it will be really interesting to see what he's going to do.
Oh no!
The DRS.
Oh no! Ryan, Azim, and Alex Marciano. I mean, obviously for Azim and Alex Marciano, they're not quite there yet. But Ryan getting absolutely held up by CPI Fraser, who we believe has a major issue on that car because he's just absolutely dropped like a stone in water in this race. In the castle section as well, I might add, as Ryan closes up to Dara here through turn 15. He's been let go by Dara, and now this potentially might give the likes of Danny and Matteo the opportunity of making sure that they do get out ahead of Ryan here. Ryan down the start finish straight. The guys are in the pit lane right now. We're going to stay on board with Ryan, as in fact Dara might actually be able to come back at him with a DRS here for Team Shazoo. Remember, Volokongan right now in the race lead.
This is going to cost him time.
Yep, absolutely. And on the pit lane exit, oh my god, it's going to be so close. And Ryan's undercut absolutely destroyed by being caught up with the traffic of CPI Fraser, and now of course Dara, as here goes Danny Parr and Azim straight through. So Ryan's undercut completely gone.
It was his chance to...
Matteo down the inside of Dara in towards turn number 4. Fantastic. And ET8 with the undercut on Azim, and of course the obviously the help of Fraser and Dara being potential moving chicanes for Ryan in this race, have actually got both of their drivers right now in a net P3, P4.
Yeah. Dara right now is losing so much time to the other guys, but since he didn't pit yet, and will surely GL Guli will not be happy about.
GL finally gets through on Dara as part of Team Shazoo there, as Ryan's closing up to the back of your man Jesler for XE Sports. I think Jesler will probably do best to just dive into the pits, get out of the way. Doesn't need to be involved in this. If I'm Jesler right now, I'm putting my hands up and saying, yeah, I'm not involved. I'm out of this.
Maybe Jesler is trying to... Let's see what he's going to do. He's beating.
Well, we got Justin and Volokonga now into the pits, and remember, they are going to lose out massively on the undercut here, as Danny Parr now into the net race lead, and now the race lead proper, as Matteo and Azim trade positions here. So the ET8 boys doing a little switcheroo between themselves, and this is where things get a little bit interesting here, because now you've got both ET8 cars in a very good position to potentially help each other out. As here goes Ryan back through on Danny Parr, down the inside in towards turn number 3, and job done for Ryan. But I mean, it's going to be a game of DRS chicken, I think, between these two for a while. And meanwhile, both of the ET8 drivers can just sit there, build up their battery, and get ready to go. And again, Ryan does have the most battery now out of everyone. I think Matteo has used quite a bit. Just to make sure that he's... Oh, is that Alex Marciano around? Yes, it is. Alex Marciano around there on the exit of turn number 6. The TF10 driver falling down the order. Heartbreak for Alex Marciano. And, of course, Volokongan and Justin now have been moved up an extra position with Alex going around. Same with Gil as well. But now we're seeing a definitive top 4 in this DRS string, as Danny closes up to the back of Ryan here for the race lead. Lap 16 of 26, as we'll have 10 more racing laps to go here in this race around the Baku City Circuit. Ryan does lead, but for how much longer? Here comes Danny Parr now, as he will have DRS to close in and make that overtake down the start finish straight. And how crucial will it be for that 1 lap fresher tyre come the end of the race?
Yeah, it will surely help him a lot in the crucial second sector. Danny passes Ryan with ease. Also, I think Alex had some sort of damage, because yeah, he has the right M plate off. He's going to pit again.
Yeah, heartbreak for Alex Marciano, who's going to be dropping down the order. So TF10 taking a massive hit in the team's championship. A team that is right now, obviously, I mean, they're in position, I think, to obviously close up in this championship, but they have a real opportunity to get some huge points over Neverlast Racing, and as of course ET8. CPI obviously with Fraser having his issues all the way down in 13th place, and hopefully his issues are now sorted and he can try and start to make some moves up the order. Dara for Team Shazoo making good progress. He's up in P13, trying to get onto the back of Andreas and Thiago, who have yet to make pit stops in this race, and then maybe push on to try and get a top 10 result after trying to catch up to Kenny in P10. We'll have to wait and see. But Danny Parr has managed to break away outside of 1 second on Ryan here, and Ryan needs to make sure he's back within that second, otherwise it could be a long night here for Ryan and Everlast Racing.
Yeah, we will have our answer right now. Let's see. I think both of them are using. Danny is down to 20%. Ryan is down
Matteo.
to 57.
Matteo all over the back of Ryan, and this is what Matteo would have been wanting. This is what he would have needed, and Ryan now being overtaken by Matteo, and with the DRS he's going to close up within a second of Danny Parr, and Danny now down to 16% on the battery. Not ideal for him. Azima's dropped off the back of Ryan and Matteo here, so Azim starting to fall away, and that's putting him under pressure from Gil and obviously Justin and Shizu Volakongan a little bit further back, but you can think if those two start battling for P4 they'll be right back in this mix. And yeah, Matteo now up into P2. It's a 2-4 right now for ET8. Not good if you're an Everlast Racing fan.
Yeah. But also NLR is sitting pretty in P3 and P6. So still good points.
It is good points here for Everlast Racing as it currently stands. I mean, Justin and Volakongan, I think, will be trading that position back and forth to try and maybe work together to kind of close up to Gil and Azim in this race, as Azim trying his best to get back within that 1 second window. He absolutely needs to do that to make sure that he doesn't come under threat from Gil in behind, and I think he will just about have it done here. And it's all about the exit now out of this corner, and gets onto the curb, and I think that's just cost him a little bit, and he's going to use a bit of battery to stay within the 1 second, and he will just about do it. As now Matteo will just use DRS now to just close up, save up that battery, because he will need it to defend from Ryan later on, who has definitely more ERS to deploy come later in this race.
Yes, Ryan is sitting in a very good position right now. Matteo has used a little bit of his advantage that he had at the beginning of the race. He's down to 28% now. Ryan is sitting very comfortably with 60%. It's going to be a game till the end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, Matteo's in the best spot right now. So obviously, he's just going to be able to save with the DRS, and it's on Ryan to use his ERS to get the move done on Matteo to put himself in that position, because he's not going to be able to overtake without the DRS. Unless he gets a huge run for the final sector, Ryan should not be in a position to overtake without using a bit of ERS down the start finish straight. And Matteo knows that, so Matteo's just going to save up his battery the best he can. Just try to regain as much as possible over the course of a lap, and use the DRS to kind of bring him back onto Danny Parr's rear wing. And late in this race then, you'll have the ERS advantage to hold off Ryan and obviously go for the race win. But Danny Parr, I mean, he is down
he's
to
losing.
20. Yeah, I mean, Danny Parr has to use a bit to drop Matteo and Ryan out of DRS range. That is what Danny Parr needs to do, but I mean,
what Danny is doing is making Matteo use. Matteo's down to 10% now, guys. So also Danny.
And Ryan did not get DRS. Ryan did not get DRS. He was just outside of 1 second on the detection point. So Ryan's had to use quite a bit of his battery, and he's still outside that 1 second as we go through turn number 1. Will Ryan be able to get back within it in towards turn number 2 and the activation point? I don't think he will, but he's pushing that car absolutely all the way to the limits, and he is not within the 1 second. And Azim now potentially could play spoiler for Everlast Racing.
But Azim is also low on battery. Let's see what Ryan manages to do in the second sector, which is the most technical part of the track. If he can get into that 1 second, all the guys in front of him are flashing or are close to. So 5-second time penalty for Thiago, speeding in pit lane, so he's pitting for softs. because he had damage.
Ryan really trying to get back within that 1 second window. He's got to use his battery to do so, and he is on the battery right now. 1.2 is the gap. He's got to bridge that gap by about 2 tenths of a second. He has the ERS to do it, but when he does use that ERS to close back up, he'll have a similar level to both Matteo and Danny here. So it will all be equalized in terms of the ERS usage, as Matteo all over the back. And so that is a Red Bull off, and that is Thiago there in turn 2. And Ryan will just about get within it, but look how much ERS he's had to use, and he is now lower than both Matteo and Danny Parr. So Ryan has had to use all of his advantage with the battery to close up in DRS range, and here goes Matteo now for the race lead with DRS. He's not going to go for it, he's just going to sit in behind as Gil gets the move done on Azim. Volokongan gets through on Justin, and this is not good for Neverlast Racing in the championship running.
But he had to do it. Ryan. He had to use so that he gets back into the DRS of the two guys in front, because if you are not in the DRS, you can't overtake them in the first place. So that sounded like a Will Baxton quote, I think.
Well, one person that is right now in probably in the best position out of everyone ERS wise is GL's Gil. He is now within the DRS train for the race lead, and he has 40% deployment here. And see, if he sees our flashing red light on any of these cars up ahead, we know the GL man will deploy. And Justin there with a 3-second time penalty, pressurized into a mistake. There is Justin. Obviously, he's so far ahead of Jezza, he's not going to lose a spot, but that essentially assigns Justin now to P7 in this race, barring a late safety car or a mistake from any of the drivers in front, or a mistake from himself. But Justin now essentially is going to be P7 unless he can force Volokongan into a mistake.
Yeah, I don't think Volokongan will.
Gil, sorry to cut in there. Gil got a great run through 18 and 19, but not close enough to get the move done. And there's the flashing red light. Gil now will have seen that, and he'll know he can attack. As Matteo not looking for the move, and Ryan's going to send one down the inside of Matteo here to try and get that position back. And he will battle once again down the inside. Will go Ryan, and both of them will have DRS on the exit. And Ryan now, with that lack of ERS, I mean, he's trying to get himself in the best position possible here, and he took advantage of the opportunity. Matteo not looking for the overtake, looking to save that battery up. And obviously, in terms of the battery deployment, Matteo and Gil have the best amount of ERS available to him, which will help him come late in this race if there is going to be a drag race all the way to the line. And I think we could possibly be on for a drag race all the way to the line. Meanwhile, also now in this train is Justin and Volokongan. So the top 7 have all bunched up, and we are now in a 7-car DRS train for the race win. Of course, Justin with our 3-second time penalty is going to be massively hindered in this race. But, I mean, Justin needs to go in there and try his best to back up his teammate as best as possible.
Let's not also forget that both Justin and Volokongan have fresher tires, so let's see if that will benefit them in the closing stages of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan has had to use all of his ERS to get back within DRS range of Danny and Matteo, and he had to look for the opportunity to get through on Matteo earlier on in this race. And now what Ryan needs to do is just play the patient game and try and save up that battery as best as possible. He is down to 14%, and he does not want to be the lead car on the final lap coming down that long DRS straight towards the line.
Yeah, we have 4 laps remaining of this race. Do you change your prediction now, Michael? What do you say?
Well, me personally, I went for Matteo with the race win, and I still think there's a good possibility. Obviously, you're picking Danny is still a good possibility as well. The one that we have missed out on is, of course, is Ryan, of course, coming in P2. He has an opportunity. Same with Gil. I think the one pick that we did have that has kind of failed both of us is Volokongan down in 7th place. But you never know what can happen towards the end of the race with those fresher tyres. And of course, with Justin having that 3-second time penalty, you've seen him starting to make some moves now. He's on the back of Gil. He's managed to get through on a Azim in this race. So Justin trying his best, and this is what I think Justin has been told to do: get past Gil, get up to Matteo, hold him up, get him off the back of Ryan.
Currently, the overcut didn't work at all because I think Volokongan lost some positions because he was up there in 4th, I think, at one point. But yes, let's see what is going to happen in these last 3 laps of this race.
Absolutely. Danny on around 40% battery. Ryan's just dipping below 20 now, as we got Matteo on around about 45. Gil and Justin. Gil on 55, Justin on 20. Volokongan getting the move done on Azim, so he's on 25% battery in 6th place right now. And Azim is currently on 17. And what we have here is the fresher medium tyres starting to come into play for both Justin and Volokongan. They are getting in positions where they can make moves, and we are seeing patience right now pay virtue for both Ryan and Matteo. Danny is absolutely praying that one of them overtakes him so he has the DRS in the final lap, because he does have enough battery to possibly hold off Matteo in this race on the run to the line. He's going to hope that Ryan makes the move on him, but Ryan's smart. Ryan will not go for that overtake until the last minute.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, will the drivers do any games trying to give seating the position before the start-finish straight to benefit from DRS in the later stages? That could lose them some time.
Absolutely. I mean, if they do play those kind of games now, obviously, if you are going to play a game like that, make sure you are doing it safely and not driving erratic. Like, you know, we don't want to be handing out penalties like, you know, what Fernando Alonso got. But yeah, I mean, Danny right now, he definitely needs to have Ryan overtake him. However, Ryan is not using the DRS. Matteo
Ryan
is.
doesn't want to overtake him.
Here we go. And Danny there trying to break a little bit earlier to try and allow Ryan through.
The game right now.
And this is the game you was talking about.
Yeah. Obviously, they had to do it because they are all thinking about doing, and the most vulnerable guy is the one that is set on the first position when the last lap begins. But you can't make a mistake, because one mistake and you lose everything. Last 1.5 lap now.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go now, penultimate lap of the race. Ryan does lead, not in the best position in ERS, not in the position he wants to be right now. He would much rather be in this position, crossing the line. But Danny playing a bit of gamesmanship there, trying to get Ryan into the race lead, and obviously giving him the best chance of taking the win for TF10. Matteo currently in P3, 80% ERS on Matteo's car right now, and he's going to be able to use on this final lap. That is for sure. As will Danny on around 65%. Ryan though, he's only just got above 40, so he has to be smart about where he's deploying his ERS, because he doesn't want to be shorthand come the long DRS straight to the line. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming on to the final lap. Predictions in the chat right now. Who is going to be taking the race win here? Will it be Ryan? Will it be Danny Parr? Will it be Matteo? Can Gil get onto the top step of the podium? Will Volokongan come through from P6? And here goes Danny now with DRS running down in towards turn number 1. Matteo's coming through as well. Matteo for the double overtake. The ETA driver down the inside and will stay in behind Danny Parr, and this is exactly what Matteo needs. Azim with a 3-second time penalty, and that is crucial because now Justin will not fall behind him. 88 Azim has made a dramatic error there, and if you are Matteo, you're going to go for this move, but I thought that Matteo would have just waited until the final DRS, the DRS straight. Now, this is all going to be about the run coming out of turn 16. Matteo
I have
now.
one question, Mike.
Yes?
Will ET8 make it 3 in a row?
I mean, let's go that. There's a reason why I went for Matteo early on as my favourite for this race win. He's a very intelligent driver, as is Danny Barr in this race. Same with Ryan as well. In fact, they're all intelligent drivers. What we are seeing right now, though, is Matteo try his best to pull that gap, but here is the issue he's going to have. DRS down the start-finish straight.
Yeah, let's see how this one finishes. Last few kilometers, you can say. What is going to happen?
It's all about the run out of turn 16 now, and it looks like Matteo has got a beautiful run out of turn 16 as compared to Danny Parr. Danny is going to have to use everything he's got. Meanwhile, you got Gil trying his best to get onto the back of Ryan as well for the final podium position. But let's go on board with the man MP2. I think he's too far away to get this slipstream all the way to the line. I think Matteo has gone and done it. And for ET8, it is Matteo with the victory. Danny Parr in second for TF10. Ryan for Neverlast Racing completing the podium. Gil in fourth place with Volakongan in fifth. Justin in sixth place. Azim in seventh. Jesla will cross the line in eighth place as we got CPI's Max Power coming across the line in P9. And obviously collecting that top 10 result is going to be Dara. Of course, Azim has left the session, so it does say he's DNF. But trust me, he did finish in P7, so we will obviously count him as P7. Kenny crossed the line in 11th for Fraser in 12th. Andreas now to the line will come 13th place with Vita in 14th. Alex Marciano probably going for the fastest lap of the race right now, so we'll stay on board with Alex Marciano to see if he can get the fastest lap. It's currently held by IRTC, if I remember correctly, as Alex Marciano will cross the line, and it's going to be a new fastest lap for the TF10 driver. And Steve is not going to be able to beat that. Thiago's already crossed the start-finish line, as it is ET8 with the victory, with Matteo here in Baku.
It's 3 in a row, Mike. It's 3 in a row. There is a 5-point gap from first till second, with which obviously ET8 are trying to get back to NLR, but NLR are always scoring very good points, which it's a little bit hard to keep up with them. But right now we have 3 races remaining of this championship. Anything can go. One slight slip up and you can lose the championship now.
Absolutely, and it is the Italian on the top step of the podium, the ET8 man, Matteo. And that means I got my prediction for the race winner correct, and I will forever hold that over you now. I got it right. I got it right. In Baku, I was correct, ladies and gentlemen. It was Matteo to take victory. So let's run you for the order one more time. It is Matteo for ET8 that does take victory ahead of TF10's Danny Parr in second place. Nevertheless Racing's Ryan completing the podium in P3. GL's Gil in P4 with Shazoo's Volakongan in P5. Nevertheless Racing's Justin in P6. And of course, P7 would have been, of course, what's called Azim in P7. For ET8, and of course 8th place would have been Jesla for XE Sports. CPI's Max Power in 9th, and of course Shazoo's Dara completing the top 10. Outside the top 10 we got Kenny, Fraser, Andreas, Vita, Alex Marciano with the fastest lap, Seb, and of course Thiago there a lap down, coming through in 16th place. And with that, it does wrap up what it has been a very intriguing, very a gamesmanship of the Baku City Circuit, and I am very, very happy that we did not get any safety cars, no VSCs, and no DNFs in this race.
Yeah, there was some slight incidents which we will see if they are going to get reported or not, but nothing too major. It was a clean race after all, so it was a good one. And obviously Baku it's a bit hard, but our drivers manage to perform and do a very good job.
Absolutely. And of course, a quick reminder of what the championships did look like coming into tonight. It was Neverlast Racing leading the way on 282 points. ET8 were on 237. I believe that gap has gone down. CPI definitely would have lost out to both TF10 and GL Esports in this race with unfortunately with what happened with Freezer. We don't exactly know what the issue was for the CPI man, but definitely points lost there for CPI. X Esports in 6th place, of course, with GT10 in 7th. WR, of course, retiring from the championship. They will not score any more points in the championship. IRT were, of course, in 9th place, and of course, Shazoo were in 10th. And of course, this is how the point system does look here in VUM. Of course, it is 30 points for the race win, and of course 25 points for second place, 20 points for third. So that is a 10-point swing just between the podium and that, obviously, with Matteo and with oh bloody hell, oh my mind's gone blank already. Oh no, let's call Ryan. Yeah, it was 10 points between those two, and then of course only 1 point difference between Justin and Azim in the end. So that's a 9-point gain for ET8 in the championship, and of course it does mean that they do close up by 9 points, but it's still a healthy gap for Neverlast Racing. So we will have to see how that all works out. Of course, guys, looking at the calendar, we have just completed the Baku City Circuit. In a fortnight's time, we will be heading to the land down under. We will be heading to the Australian Grand Prix. We're heading to Melbourne, guys. It is Australia next, and of course, after that, the penultimate race of the season in Qatar, and then of course the season finale in Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix. 3 races to go now, VJ, and everything to play for.
Yes, and to remember to remember everyone, top 3 will have a cash prize. Its first position will have 200 euros, second position will win 125, and third position will win 75 euros. I mean, the drivers and the managers will do everything they can to manage to get the prizes, because it's always nice to win something, and the fight for the first position, ET8 are always there getting the points, but NLR is very consistent in their races, so it's everything to play for. But if some of them does a mistake and the other team finishes 1-2, 1-3, they will catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously there's still everything to play for. Obviously 9-point gain for ET8 here tonight. We'll see what happens in a fortnight's time in Australia. But that wraps things up here in Division 1. Of course, Division 2 will be going underway next week, and they'll take to the streets of Baku, and we will see who will come out on top in Division 2. But for now, in Division 1, I have been Michael Edwards. He has been VJ, and we'll catch you again for the next race. Goodbye, and have a good one, guys.
They been on their ass, bitch, I'm on the rail. I wrap it, I bag it, I pack it for sale. Got feeling on speed out, hit me to chill. I give it a thrill, I put it on film. Niggas facade, get applaud, that ain't real. Come to my section and flex, we can tell. I got a show and she dipping them nails. I'm flipping my L's, I know they can tell. I did it too major, they hit me for favors. Been him since the cable was cut in the crater. What's up, only right that I do it. Colossal until I'm a boss, so they want me to fail. Look, we prevail. Tell them to point out who said that they run it. Bitch, I'm on your tail. Know that they talking, they telling them tales. Just know how to tell, that shit for the sale.
Honestly, I know it's hard to believe, but you have to trust me. It's got maximum taste and zero sugar.
Stop playing games, wooden boy.
No, I'm a real boy.
Pepsi Max. Maximum taste, zero sugar. Try and believe.
What do you see here? Maybe history, or maybe it's the future.
Amarti mi consola. Amami ancora, fallo dolcemente, un anno, un mese, un'ora.
Tonali plug-in hybrid, a new charge of sportiness.